Welcome to the Escape Room. Enjoy the game.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Welcome, everybody, to the DIU Escape The Podcast. I'm Dom.
I'm Phil.
That is Phil.
Yeah.
And we're here with a few guests.
Full house.
We got someone that's been on the podcast a couple of times. And he is... Where the hell is that thing? I just had it.
Where is he?
We got Lee.
I've gone missing.
I'm a bad man. You hear me?
Bad man.
Clever. I love it.
Little Butters. We got brother / my cousin, Anthony.
What's
Phil's brother. And we have the owner of Mind Factory here in Bridgeport, where we're recording live from, Mr. Dave Hennessy.
Pleasure to meet everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me here. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
So we just played Invasion. Yeah, I'm going to have to. And by far, one of my favorite games so far.
Definitely.
What was your mindset in trying to design this room, Dave?
We start with story. We always start with story, and we end with story. And that's how we think about our design process. We've have a story planned out for about the next 10 or 15 years. Invasion is chapter 2. It picks up where Breathless left off, and I would say for this particular game, for Invasion, we knew that we had an ending without giving anything away. We knew that that ending involved a giant monster that had something that the escape room players need. And then we worked backwards with our props and our puzzles, trying to figure out how the players would get the thing from the monster that they needed.
Awesome. Nice. Now, you posted the picture of the monster on social media and whatnot, and that thing is freaking phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
That really made me want to come here and play this game. That thing just looked cool.
Yeah, I'm glad. That was done by a production company out of New York called Murmuration. They are excellent guys. Check them out. If you need any prop work, any fabrication work, they are absolutely top-notch. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. You guys saw the thing in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It was
it's a work of art. Yeah, it's a work of art.
What'd be cool is at the conclusion for those that succeed, being able to take pictures with that.
We have
that's pretty cool.
That's like people. That's what they want, their victory picture. We have our signs, and they can stand in front of the logo. But most people are like,
they want the
Can we do it with id? Can we do it with the monster? And we're like, yeah, of course you can do it with the monster. And the other thing that I'll add, that I didn't want the monster to just sit there. I wanted it to be a part of the game. So we can't tell people what happens, but the monster does something. It's not just a static prop that's in the game. It actually has some functionality that I think gives a pretty amazing wow moment at the end of the game.
Yeah,
it definitely is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing itself has a lot of wow to it, but fortunately, because the room is so engaging, you walk in there, you go, wow, that's kind of neat, and then you're quickly into the activities, which I think tells a lot, one, about the interesting part of the activity to supersedes the visual of that monster.
Yeah, and that's my question to you guys as players. What engaged you about Invasion, and when you're playing an escape room, what doesn't engage you and what don't you want to see, right? So like, what are things you want to be doing and what are things that you don't want to be doing while you're playing?
Well, what struck me throughout the entire game was how theatrical it was, from the lighting to the sound, and how it moved the game along. It was able to pace the game, able to speed it up or slow it down. It was able to draw your attention to certain parts, as opposed to just a static room where it's four walls and the puzzles on the thing. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but this is a different level.
I'd rather be moving than standing still.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's just exactly what this room was you were constantly moving. You weren't going, okay, what's next? Like, where do I go next? you just keep flowing. That's what I want out of a game. And immersion. It's got to look really cool, and feel like you're actually in the place that you're in.
Yep.
I think everything was tied together so well.
Yeah, it really was.
Thank you. That's
Yes.
very flattering. Yeah, that's important to us. I mean, I don't want it to be lost that escape rooms are about having fun.
Yeah.
This is about going to do a fun thing with your friends and not necessarily staring at a wall at a really difficult Sudoku puzzle, right? People want to go and have fun. You don't want to pay $30 a person to be frustrated. We want you to have fun. And it doesn't mean there aren't parts that aren't frustrating. It doesn't mean there aren't parts that aren't.
But you want challenge.
But you want a challenge and you want to be engaged. Yeah. Guys, what would you tell people who want to come play it? So certainly, I think we'd all say you need 4 people, right?
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we play a lot of games with just 2 of us, and we kind of maybe harass the owners a little bit if it's supposed to be a 4-person game to let us do it with 2 people.
Oh,
And-
because we want the challenge, though, too.
yeah, we're big on doing it with just the 2 of us to see if we could do it. We took your advice and had the 4 people, and you probably even could have used another person or 2 in there. And there's not many rooms that we've played where I could say, yeah, if we had, that 3rd, that 4th, that 5th person, it would have made a difference. This room makes a difference.
But also with this room, even if we had 6 people in there, there was enough room in the room for 6 people.
It was
It's
not
a
cramped.
physically large room.
Right.
Yes.
Where a lot of escape rooms are saying, oh, we want 6 to 10 people. We can fit 10 people in this room, and it's the size of a broom closet.
Yes.
Like, how you fitting 10 people in this place?
And we've been in rooms like that.
Right. So, as long as there's enough room, the more the merrier with this.
Good. Yeah, that means a lot to us. We put a lot of thought into the game design. It's very frustrating when the game design of an escape room is uneven, where you feel like you've completely come to a stop and you don't have any idea what's going on. We really try to avoid that. There are points where the game gets more difficult, and we'll mention the phone prop here. There's a phone prop, everybody, in Invasion that is not
Spoiler.
That is not We're not going to tell you any more than that, but it's a hard thing. And you're going to have to think and you're going to have to work together. But I think people ultimately will figure it out. Like, I don't think anyone's going to be sitting there just staring at the thing forever. It's just a challenge and
Phil,
a pretty good one.
We told you, Phil, it was not $7 a minute.
Somebody has tried to call 911, by the way. I heard you guys talking about it when
Yeah.
you were in there. So the phone sits there, and you can call any number you want. Very few numbers work, but somebody has gone in there and been like, look, we're stuck. Somebody just dial 911 on the telephone. Let's see if anything happens.
cool.
Nothing happens, but I thought that was pretty funny.
I got to say, especially with Invasion, and we haven't seen this in a long time. No puzzles are frustrating.
No, they were
You
hard.
remember? Yeah, they were hard, but they weren't frustrating. Like,
Yes.
where we were just getting so mad that, screw
And all
this
pieces
place,
worked.
we're out of here.
Yeah.
And everything worked
Everything
as it
worked.
was supposed to. That's one of the mottos that we've gotten from
Yeah.
Masterpiece in Indian Trail in North Carolina. Everything has to work every single time, whether you're doing a physical puzzle or it's getting controlled from the control
right.
room. And everything worked.
And you'd be surprised how many rooms something doesn't work in it. And nothing is more frustrating than when it doesn't work and the operator knows it's not working. I mean, we've played a couple rooms like that, and it's like, well, if you know it's like that, A, why are you running the room, and B, why isn't it fixed?
Right.
But no, everything in there ran perfect, and I had a great time.
That's the most important thing.
I was
to us.
very
Yeah, what you
excited
just
all
said.
day today to come play here, and I was not disappointed.
Good.
No, this was
Honestly.
a geographic schlep for me from based on where I live. It's over an hour.
Hey, you haven't driven where we.
No, you got
what we do to go do a room.
You guys
so
do- you guys
say
Every,
nothing.
every time I see you guys are like, yeah, we're going to like North Carolina to play 8 games tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
guys.
Hampshire,
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
They're doing
wherever.
they're
Yeah.
doing destinations. I'm
Right.
like, I got to work.
We
guys.
have problems.
Yeah, right. Get a little bit of addiction going here. That's good though.
But this was a type of play, like for me, it's over an hour just to drive here from where I am down the Merritt Parkway and all other crazy stuff. The traffic, worth it. Absolutely worth the experience. And without spoiling anything, because I don't want to give it away, this is also the only room I've ever been a part of, and I've done several with you guys,
Right.
where there's a bonus component to your succeed. To
Oh,
success.
yeah.
That was I've never even heard of that before. I think it's a great attribute to what you thought of, because you're not just sitting there going, oh my god, and then hey, it works. You actually get some encouragement of these bonuses as you succeed.
And in all reality, you don't even realize you get them.
You don't.
Yeah, because I looked at the clock maybe 3-4 times while we were going, because you even said that you were like 10 minutes in, and you're like, oh, let's ask for a clue. It's like, no, let's not. Like, let's just wait. We're rocking.
Yeah.
And so that's the only time that's the first time I looked at the clue, when it was 10 minutes in, and I'm like, nope. And then I looked again a few more times, but if you don't pay attention, you know.
The game rewards you.
Yes.
The game rewards you along the way.
Actually, in reality, this is one of the few games that I don't think I checked the clock.
Good. That's what we want to launch.
I did toward the end.
Toward the end a little bit.
I checked towards the end.
Toward the end a little bit.
Well, that's usually when it happens. But yeah, it was seamlessly integrated. How the hell do you say that word? Anyway,
but you
didn't realize it was there.
I mean, the time the timing is like for an hour type of thing,
right.
You know. But the whole time, I actually felt like, because I was having so much fun with it, it went by somewhat quick. But I felt that I was there like for a longer period of time.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Which was
that's
it's hard
really
to describe it. Like it's like obviously it's nighttime now. Then we came in, it was a little bit light out.
Time wasn't flying while we were having fun.
No, we were really enjoying every second without kind of going, is this thing going to end on this?
Yeah, that's the thing that we're going to continue to emphasize, is that we never want to lose sight of the fact that these are supposed to be really fun. And it doesn't matter how hard your puzzles are. It doesn't matter how cool your props are. It doesn't matter how much money you spend. If people aren't having fun, you're not going to succeed as an escape room. And that's the thing. Fun and customer service are the two things we care about most. If we hit both of those things, I'm glad.
Yeah, I think it was fun from start to finish. I mean, it was so well done.
Even the beginning part when you do introductions and you're reading the story, because two of us did not do the previous one.
Had not know.
We didn't have that experience, but it captivated us with like, okay, there's stuff there, and Phil and Dom both had understood what the characters that were being introduced. We were still kind of looking at it, going, "Oh, that's cool," and then it's like, bam, 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 and the way it presented it, I was like, "All right, I can't wait. I want to see what this thing does next."
Good. So we can't give away the end of Invasion either. Right. Obviously, there is another experience that we're planning. It's going to take a while, but what I can say is what we're going to do, we are working on right now, is some digital content that fleshes out our story. And it will be like found footage horror movie stuff.
Very cool.
That's what we're doing now, right? That gives you a little bit something that's a little bit quicker than waiting for our next escape room, which is going to take a while. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a while before we can open it.
True.
Did the darkness or level of light annoy you guys at any point?
No.
You felt it was navigable? Like you could get through it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you provided the right illumination. We have to like search for it.
Yeah.
And they all worked, and they all seemed like they were pretty heavy-duty lights that you provided for us.
Yeah, escape room tip number one, man. Invest in rechargeable batteries and keep like 1 million of them on hand. Like at all times. Just have 1 million flashlights and 1 million rechargeable batteries.
But they're also small ones, so as opposed to like the ones that like would take up an entire section where you really can't read what's being illuminated.
Now, this game is actually the sequel.
That's right.
To Breathless. Do you recommend playing one and then the other, or do you?
That's interesting. I think it's probably best for people to play Breathless first, and then Invasion. But it would be kind of cool to play Invasion first and then go to Breathless, because it would be like you're playing the prequel if you played Breathless, which would be sort of interesting too. You thought that Breathless was harder. Tell me more, because most people tell me that Invasion's harder. Why did you think Breathless was harder than Invasion?
I don't know. It could have been just because there was 2 of us instead of 4 of us.
Right.
It could have been because we had 100 less games under our belt. But it was a different type of environment also. I don't want to give too much away about what Breathless is, but it was more of a lab environment, and the puzzles were different. The puzzles fit the environment, and they're just a different type of puzzle, I think.
Right.
And now that we've played that one we played that one first. We also kind of have a little insight on how your puzzles flow.
Interesting.
Everyone's puzzles flow a little bit differently. But yeah, I think that Breathless seemed a little bit more frantic, not frantic, but faster paced. Where this one seemed to, the pace seemed to be almost controlled by the game. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot.
Actually, you say the pace is controlled by the game. The pace is also controlled by the game in Breathless also.
Yes, by a very specific mechanism.
Right.
Yeah.
So but I'm trying to, it's been about a year.
Yeah, it's been a while since you guys played it.
And I know I liked it a lot, and we will play Breathless again so we could really refresh ourselves again. But
now I really want to see what that first one was like.
You see the origin of the monster. You see where the monster, and invasion came from. It came from the lab in Breathless, which I think is fun. And that goes along with the whole storytelling that we're trying to do. Mind Factory is a 20-year-long horror story that we're telling. So now we've told you Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. And there will be much more to come.
So, Anthony, right now, I definitely want to see the origin of this thing because the prop was really cool. The story that we got when we came in was kind of basically midway for the whole series. Dom and Phil know the thing from the start to where we are currently. You know what's going for the next part of this. What are your thoughts on how much do you really want to play Breathless right now?
Oh, I wanted to jump in right after that game.
That's good.
I feel like we missed something. There's something that you and I, because we didn't play Breathless, we're there's something that Dom and Phil know that we're wow, we got to know what the same thing. It's almost like you're coming into a TV series and the character's already established and you're all right, cool, but there's a backstory that we don't know yet.
But see, I think this was fine playing without playing Breathless first, but it's made me want to play Breathless more now.
Good.
It's okay, this was awesome. Now I want to try this one.
Right.
And that's what we're going to do with the found footage horror stuff that we're going to release. That will also flesh out the universe a little bit. I was talking to you guys before we started recording about what are some of the most popular things right now in pop culture, and it's Marvel and Star Wars, right? Those are 1 and 2. And why? Because there's a universe of characters. And that's what we're trying to build here, and not that anything that Mind Factory is doing is like Marvel or Star Wars, but it is a universe and there are characters involved. And I think that keeps you invested. That's the thing that makes you want to do the next thing, as opposed to disjointed escape rooms, which can still be super, super cool, but you don't get the continuity of, hey, we're following from Chapter 1 to Chapter 2 to Chapter 3.
Obviously, the Green Lantern movie ruined the whole DC thing for him.
Now, you've mentioned before about you have a plan and you know what's going on. What made you originally want to say, this is what we want to do? We want to open up an escape room, and this is a business that we're going to dedicate our life to and be here for 20 hours a day. And
that's a really good question. I started doing escape rooms when I was getting my MBA, really enjoyed them. Really thought there was a lot of room to expand because escape rooms were pretty new then. We're talking about 2014, 2015, right? So there weren't many in the United States. And I thought there was a lot of room to do new and interesting things and tell stories in new and interesting ways that people weren't doing. So I'm a writer by trade. A lot of the people who work here are theater people, sound engineering people, actors. We come from it from a very artsy, cinematic, writerly perspective, and not so much a puzzle perspective. I know this is the weirdest thing ever, but puzzles aren't the most important part of an escape room, at least in my opinion. And I know people will disagree with that, and I know they'll say, Dave, that's insane. These are about puzzles. I don't think it is.
I don't think it's totally about puzzles either.
Well, not anymore anyway. No. I think originally, yes, but I liked your take on escape.
So now that we're 2 rooms in, and the world has changed a little bit.
Yep.
We've seen COVID coming.
Yep.
All these other things. Where do you think this industry is going? Mm-hmm. Do you think it's more that hey, COVID's going to be less and less a concern and people are going to be coming back? Is it more online things? Is it more outdoory things? Places are doing outdoor things now. Where do you think we're heading towards?
I think that people are always going to look for fun, engaging, and new experiences to do with their friends and family members. That is never going to go away. So when it comes to that, escape rooms are here to stay. However, I do think the industry needs to evolve. And that doesn't mean just like, oh, hey, let's make a new piece of tech. That's not what I'm talking about. I think people need to start thinking differently about what an immersive experience is. Because in my opinion, the sky is kind of the limit. I don't think we've even scratched the surface of what can be done and the type of story that can be told to members of the public. And we're working on it, and Mind Factory we're brainstorming all sorts of crazy projects right now, and some of them might fail at first. Like, they might not come out perfectly at first, but that's going to be part of the evolution. We can't just keep doing the same stuff. I think people are going to get tired of that. That's what I would say to escape room owners, is you're going to have to try to do something different, because the bar is high and it's going to keep getting higher.
All right. Off the top of your head, just how many rooms have you done since 2014?
Oh, I haven't played anywhere near as many as you guys. I've probably done 40 or 50 rooms.
Okay, out of those 40 or 50, besides not including your own,
yeah,
what would be your maybe favorite room you've done?
I enjoyed Brain Escape has amazing sets. And that alone really did a great job of immersing me. If nobody's played Brain Escape's games, you should go play them. Made by the guy who made the monster, by the way, made by Memoration. They did the sets down there. You should go do those. The bar for me is, did I go with my friends and have a good time? And if the answer is yes, that's a good room, in my opinion. I'm not super particular. I'm not pedantic about these things. Like, I don't go in and nitpick. I don't care about that. I just want to go and feel immersed and feel like I'm having fun. And as long as you put thought into your room is going to give that to me. Connecticut has a pretty solid escape room scene, I feel. Do you guys feel? I feel like the scene here is pretty solid.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You just answered another question. What's the difference between a good escape room and a great escape room?
Yeah.
That you kind of just...
Yeah, I don't really judge like that. Like, if you show me a good time and you're nice to me, I'm gonna give you 5 stars on Google. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really care. Like, I kind of don't care. But I think there's a couple things that you can't have. Your stuff can't break, and that doesn't mean that nothing will ever break, because let's be honest, stuff breaks.
It does.
But like most of the time, 99.9% of the time, your props need to work. So if the room is real glitchy and like worn down, that's not really something that you can have. You have to have good customer experience. Just be kind to people. Like, that's all that we do. We treat people the way we like to be treated. We're just nice to people and understanding if they need to reschedule a booking or something like that. So customer service is number 2. And then the third thing is, I think you have to have a story. And I think some escape room owners will disagree with me about that. But if there's no story and I'm just in a room like doing puzzles, I'm not going to have that much fun. That's just me, though. That's a me thing. That's not an everybody else. Does your experience suffer when you don't beat a room?
No.
Like, you don't care?
We don't care if we win or lose.
Okay.
Of course, everybody loves to win, but as long as we were immersed and we were having a good time and nothing was frustrating. Frustrating is the big thing for us. Yeah, is a big thing. As long as everything made sense and we all had a good time playing it, it's like, oh man, we're done. We had two more puzzles to do and we were out. We almost consider that a win. Like,
yeah.
Or if we're at the last puzzle, even if we have the code in hand but didn't put it in, we would consider that a win. But
because of fun.
We're really looking to beat the room every time. We're looking to be immersed.
Yeah.
And not be frustrated.
As basically a games master, I'm sure when you put certain games in, you're thinking these set of games might challenge people a little bit more than some others.
Yeah, that happens all the time. We are constantly amazed at what people get stuck on, but we're also constantly amazed at how intelligent some people can be and beat something that we thought was really hard. And you guys got stuck on the thing in there that everybody gets stuck on, which I never thought was hard.
Right.
But everybody gets stuck on it, and I don't know why. And it's just a thing that's dumb, but people get stuck on it, you know?
You see some commonalities of people and players in general will go, we didn't when we designed this thing, we thought this part wouldn't be that big a deal, but they all get caught on it.
And also, what I want to mention is what I thought was the most compelling and challenging puzzle in there. Putting aside the phone for a second, the most compelling and challenging logic puzzle about the 7 deadly sins, you guys crushed it, and that made me really happy because that's a multi-step, multi-tiered puzzle, and you got it like that. So like you got the complex thing, but the dumb code on the stupid TV thing, you did,
Again, that's where we were talking before we recorded. You asked, how do you rate difficulty? We can go into the easiest room and be dumbfounded and can't do anything. We go into what they call their hardest room and we cruise right through it.
Yeah,
that's the same thing. Like with that puzzle, like it's
just so everybody knows,
like
it's
that.
just a stupid code on a surveillance camera screen.
Yeah,
like there's nothing to it. Yeah,
it's like duh, there it is.
Yeah, right. There's the code.
Okay, I'm stupid.
Yeah,
but it's like
could have saved 20 minutes.
But then I'll go look at that and go, that is freaking awesome. Like it was just sitting there right in front of you the whole damn time, and you just didn't even realize. You had a bunch of wow factors in this room, but that was the very first.
And we find that people really respond well to that, which is why we up the wow factor from Breathless, because people really like being rewarded for solving something, right? Like you get a thing right, and then look at the fog or look at the light turn on. That feels very satisfying to players, and you get more than enough of that. And there's like so much of that in Invasion.
So the important question?
The
most important question.
All right.
Go for it.
All right. Being a game master,
yeah,
and you've run countless number of games.
Yep.
What sticks out in your mind as the story, as what you've seen that
What is the funniest thing
like the most ridiculous thing
or
that I've
heard in your escape room that somebody may have said or done in the
So I've been very lucky here. We have an awesome customer base. There's been very few problems. Honestly, I thought there was going to be more problems, and there has been almost nothing. I've seen people come with extremely young children, like I'm talking 2 weeks old, and have the kid just sit in like the carrying thing. I have a picture somewhere of the surveillance camera of Breathless of like a bunch of adults solving Breathless, and the kid is just fast asleep in the little baby carrier lying on the floor in Breathless. That's one thing. I've had some therapy dogs in there. That's always cool. They're good. Nobody has destroyed anything in a crazy way. I've heard some groups just like cursing a mile a minute, which is always really funny. That's always a lot of fun. We don't do mixed games, so all the games are private. Yep. So we don't get those weird interactions between strangers, which can get really weird.
We've been through that.
And that's why one of the reasons I don't do that here, because I think it hurts the customer experience. And I think you just come with your people and you don't have to worry about like the weird person in the corner whom you don't get along with or something like that. But I would bet that if you had more mixed groups in your escape room, if you allowed that, you would hear some wild stuff. What's the craziest thing you guys have ever seen in an escape room, like been part of?
I know for some of the rooms we went, one of the ones we went to where we had the mixed situation where we didn't know them, they didn't know us.
Right.
It was, I don't know if we'll call it cliquey, but some people kind of went off and did their own thing.
Everybody who showed up together stayed with their own group,
which made it difficult for working the room.
Nobody called out anything to anybody else, but I don't know. I think that's just a public thing anyway.
Do you guys think escape rooms should stop that? Do you think they should stop doing that?
I think that
that's a tough answer.
I think that it should be an option.
Okay.
When everyone did it and you couldn't get private rooms, all we wanted to do was play a private room.
Right.
Because we just want to play with just our group.
Only because we've had bad experiences playing with other people.
We
didn't know.
I prefer to play private, but I could see if you're by yourself and you want to do something, You know, one person ain't going to be, you know, a thing. So then, then you could say, I'll book one ticket because someone else is booking 4 other tickets. You know, it's not something I would do all the time, but I could see doing it.
I think it's something that COVID has absolutely changed in this industry. I don't think customers are going to tolerate the public bookings nearly as much because they got really used to playing private games during COVID. Yeah. And I understand why escape rooms do public bookings, right? You need to maximize revenue. You got to pay your rent.
I can definitely see from your side of the table. Yeah, if I could get 10 people in here every hour.
Of course.
You know, and I could definitely see the pros and cons of it. Like I said, we prefer 99% of the time to do it against us. But I can see, I mean, what we're running into now is a lot of the people won't book 2 people.
Yeah, you have to book a minimum of 4 people or a minimum of 3 people in order to do the role.
It's hard enough to get 2 people whose schedules you could get to book, but now to find 2 other people who schedule is all going to fit together on the same night, it's a tough thing to do.
Or if the room can be done, you have to buy the 3rd ticket. Do you buy the 3rd ticket and just play with 2 people? Or
so let me just tell this to anybody who's thinking about coming down to play Invasion. We will run it for any number of people that you want. We will only charge you $30 a person. So even if you book 2 people, we're only going to charge you $60. We're not going to charge you any more. Just know that it's a challenging game, and you really need 4 to 6 people. Yeah, that's just the honest truth. You guys know that.
And after playing, we can see that 4 people.
You
even
need
a 5th person would be great.
I want to flip the question around to Anthony. So, would you want to do a room like this if it was not private?
No, I'd rather do something like this with the group here because I know everybody. I think we work well together. I think a lot of people would be apprehensive and have anxiety of working with people they don't know. So I mean, for me, it's a comfort factor with working with you guys because you guys are more experienced than I am with it. So for me, it would have to be with a group of people I know.
Yeah. And I think that sentiment would be echoed by most of our customers. When I ask them for feedback, they just tend to tell me, yeah, man, keep it private. This was really cool. Yeah. And part of the coolness factor was I got to be with my friends and we got this whole place to ourselves for an hour.
Yeah, and I like the idea that if someone wants to come with 2 people, go for it.
Right.
It's a chance of you beating the game? Probably not, but you know what? It's your money, it's your out.
That's right.
Go ahead. We talked to so many places where they're so strict on, you need a certain number of people and you need to do this, you need to do that. And then you talk to other places and it's, you know what? It's your dollar and it's your hour.
Yeah.
And I like that way of thinking. If I want to pay $30 and sit in the middle of the room for an hour,
go for it.
Just hang out. That's fine. I mean, we've done ones where, there wasn't enough flashlights, so we took our phone out to use the flashlight on it. Oh, no, you can't. And they get mad at doing that. Well, it's my hour. If I want to do it, that's fine. Does it ruin the illusion of whatever they're doing? Maybe. But maybe I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Maybe I just want to get out of the house for an hour, and I want to sit in the middle of a dark room with monsters around
with one little light.
with just one light.
It's very rewarding as a owner when people solve a problem in a way that you never thought that they could solve it. That is super exciting to me. That's one of the times that I get most excited when somebody figures something out and I'm like, holy crap, I never thought of that, but it worked.
One of the things that did
happened to us in one game.
Yeah. It did. And I remember that game.
Yeah. I don't remember which game it was, but I remember it happened to us.
They were like, oh my God, no one's ever done that.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, it made perfect sense. That was the first thing we thought
we didn't actually solve it, though. It was the wrong answer. But
right.
It was the right. But the way we did it, it was the right answer. The way they did it was the wrong answer to us. But I don't know, it was weird. Completely agree with that.
Now, being on both sides of the table, being the owner, being the game master, being an enthusiast, you played 40-some-odd games, whatever. If you walk into a game now that's not your own, Is it harder for you now because are you all geeked out on, oh my God, look at this prop, or oh, look at how they got this, the immersion of it, or
right? So I try to shut my owner brain off and just have fun and play. That's what I try to do. I haven't played an escape room in a while, and I'm actually really curious as to how I would do. Part of me thinks I would do really well, and because I'm thinking in that sort of brain space, and part of me thinks I might struggle a little bit. I'm not sure. I want to play. There's an excellent one in Connecticut. Is it Movie Mayhem? Everybody tells me to do it.
Oh, yes.
Everybody tells me to do it. Yeah.
Word, yes.
So I want to go do that one. And then Trapped has a very hard time travel one, which
that one was done very well.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, and I want to try both of those. I'm going to set it up, get a bunch of people together, and go do it. So I want to try. I want to just see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen.
If you go to Code Word, though, you should play. They actually have I wouldn't say halfway. There's a really decent Christmas room there. And
open now? Like
they keep it year round.
It's
cool.
Yeah, this is the Gangster Gnomes 2. It's their second version of it. But their Midas Touch one, or King Midas room, is a phenomenal room too.
Good.
At Code Word, which is also where the movie Mayhem is.
Yeah. That's what because I asked my customers where should I go, and those ones, the time travel one, Code Word comes up a lot. I mean, we have good like Escape Rooms Connecticut has some really cool rooms. Yeah, there's plenty of like Escape New Haven has the. It's the werewolf one. Yeah, the werewolf one. Yeah.
Their crypt is very good too.
We had a blast. Did you guys play their space station one?
No, we didn't.
When they had that? We didn't. That was an example of one where I failed, and we failed pretty badly. There was like 7 of us, and we just imploded. But it was fun. It was a space. Yeah, it was a space station with a bunch of rooms, and I don't even think we were close, but we were having a good time, and that's all. We were laughing and having a good time, and that's all that we care about.
Nice. There we go.
26 seconds left. Victory and invasion.
Yeah.
But most importantly, no clues. That's what made me happy.
When
you guys
said
did
that
not
to
use
us,
help.
I was like, no, we're not taking them. I don't care.
Yeah, that was me.
We can say nudges, and there was a nudge here or there. But
Yeah.
I was going to give in and ask. I could admit
I
it.
couldn't ask. I didn't want to ask. When you said you didn't want us to use them,
I don't think anyone wants
use them.
to, but I think when you start going, all right, how
Well,
many more things left?
There was no point where we really
You didn't
needed
need
to.
one. Yes,
This
you
is
didn't need
where
one.
I said earlier there was no start and stop.
Right.
Like, we just kept moving throughout the
Yeah,
game.
there
The
was
game flow
flow.
is phenomenal in this game. It really is. So everybody check out both games, Breathless and Invasion, down here in Mind Factory, and down here in Bridgeport. Yeah. Check them out. It's mindfactory.com, right?
Mindfactoryct.com. Give us a shout out. Reach out if you have questions. We'll make it work for you. We're flexible. We can do different times if you don't have a time available. We do big groups. We do small groups. We care about you, so just give us a holler and we'll hook you up.
You have to check them out. It was really, really impressive.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. That means a lot to me. We put a ton of time into this, and the fact that you all enjoyed your experience and are nice dudes to boot is really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, well, I think that's about it for this one. Wow, almost 45 minutes on this. This is a pretty good podcast.
That's a long one for us.
Yeah. Make sure you check out DIUEscapeCrew.com. All our info's on there. All the links to every company that we've played is up there. You can even buy the swag, like Phil's wearing. Swag!
Yeah, Phil does have some nice swag on there. Yeah, look at that.
All DIU Escape Crew, plus you can buy the Alert shirt and the Church Alert shirt. Other than that, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, the whole nine. And with that, we'd like to thank Dave for being on the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me.
We'd like to thank Anthony for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
And we'd like to thank Lee
I'm a bad man. You hear me?
for being back on the podcast.
Well, you didn't use that enough, man. That should have been like all the time, just
Every
firing
time
that
you talk,
thing.
you
Yeah,
should have
that's
had
right.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I'd like to point out that you guys are undefeated when I go with you.
Oh, nice. Nice. Never lost a room with them. I like it.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Bill.
I am Phil. And that's Dom.
I'll just say see you later. Well, you hear from us when you hear from us.
Peace out.
Bye.